Ooh.
Okay. So I think the first thing I want to talk about for sure, and maybe you're just working on this as of late, but this is very different from last time. A
Uh-huh.
lot of Boomerang, and I'm not sure why so much. Are you working on Boomerang stuff as of
Yeah.
late? Okay, because
Yeah, I'm working on Boomerang stuff right now.
I can say if you want to use wave bounce boomerang, it's not bad if you want to use it as a bait. So let's say if you run up to me and I think I can, like, let's say if I land in front of you with something, if I'm trying to like go for a dash grab, you can wave bounce right in front of me, come down with your boomerang, and then get a combo off of
Yeah.
that. But if you're throwing it at a distance, it's kind of the same thing as me doing like lasers like this, right? Like from here, although my laser's not the same move, it doesn't really have much of an effect other than I guess being a little bit flashy. For me, at least for Falco's lasers, I'm typically using wave bounce or beer reverse lasers to try and land, so to try and mix you up. If I go like this to call you out, it's like, okay, it's just kind of cheeky, doesn't really do anything though, really. For yourself though, your boomerang is much better off, like let's say if you want to get right up into my face, wave bounce right over top of me, and then come down with it and like get wave bounce boomerang into fair or into whatever you're trying to get.
Oh,
Yeah, something
like
like that. Exactly.
Yeah.
So almost point blank. It's mostly the way I've seen it being used, at least in the most effective way, is to call out someone going for a dash attack or dash grab. So if you think I'm going to run up, or even like a run up tilt as well, in the case of Falco, or like, I guess a run up combo starter, some sort of tilt in some way. If I'm going to jump at you, it's typically way too slow. If I sit way far back, that is reflected, of course. But if I try to get up into your face and run up tilt, down tilt, go for a grab, probably wouldn't go for many dash attacks as Falco, but anything on the ground right in front of you, you want to microspace around me as much as you possibly can, and that's probably the main spot you want to use it. I was going to say the other thing too is you kind of want to use it in tandem with your shield, and I mean your actual like shield button. And the way I would be using it is if you are running up and going for shield and I'm landing on your shield, because the way that Falco is designed, minus his falling up bear, everything he has is not safe on shield. If I go for like landing nair, that's like the only thing I can get away from your nair with, but anything else you can nair out a shield and hit me. So if that's constantly happening, I'm going to start trying to grab you for running up and shielding, and once you've conditioned that grab into me, that's where the boomerang comes into play and you get a way bigger punish. Of course, at the higher, like ultra high percents, if I happen to be wrong, let's say if I run up and I hit your shield, you could get an up smash or an up B at a shield and get probably a kill. But if I am, let's say, going for those grabs at the higher percents, like, okay, well, now I have to get like a raw fair if I'm trying to get something. You can go for that wave bounce boomerang if you happen to get it and you can convert off of it, that's great. But if you happen to miss, you can hopefully get away from the situation completely versus just going for like a rising fair over top of me. If I run up and shield over top of your fair, or sorry, underneath your fair, you might get punished. I might be able to get an up smash depending on how far you lean over top of me. It's a little bit different against Falco, but for the most part when you're using your boomerang, it's going to be very, very close to me with those wave bounces. I don't mind you using it at a distance. Here's the thing, it's not the wave bounce that was the problem at the distance. Like I understood like you kind of were just throwing it out when there wasn't a ton of context behind it in some cases. But if you're going to throw it out at a distance, I'd rather see you throw it at the ground. So either full hop or short hop and throw it at the ground. So if I decide to reflect it, it's going to bounce back off the ground and go over top of you. Okay, and then you can either run in, or if you throw it up and I happen to like jump and roll, if I happen to jump and reflect, then you can run underneath it. So you do have some options there to mix me up with the boomerang.
That makes sense. I can still use boomerang without around your reflector if I use it in the right places.
The thing with that, realistically, and this is also be kind of a bait. So if you were to throw that out, I reflect it, you run up on me. Like, let's say the boomerang doesn't actually hit me, and maybe that's not even the goal. The goal is to get me to waste my reflect, because as soon as I'm doing this, if you can just run in on me, I'm going to panic in some way. I'm either going to shield immediately, spot dodge immediately, jump immediately, try and hit you before you can hit me, right? And you can pull out a lot of habits or panic options on my part by getting me to waste my reflect, and then you squeeze my zone, and you're right in my face, and I'm in the middle of a move. Like that. So even that, he got a chance to squeeze my zone. Exactly what I said, word for word. He just got right in there with it. I throw out the reflector, completely missed, and he's in my face. Right?
Yeah, true.
So it's I guess, bait is the right word, or like misdirection to say you want me to interact with your boomerang for no real benefit of your own other than trying to take a ton of space for free because I'm in the middle of doing something. That's, here's the thing, I'm basing a lot of how I talk about Link, not even on how I've played Link, but like how I've seen Orange play him. And this is what he did to me, and it made me want to die because he did it. He just knew. It's like, how the hell? Which Falco have you played in the past? Like, this is a long time ago.
Mhm.
Who have you played in the past that has a reflector that you just know, okay, I'll just do this, and it worked basically every time? If I'm more fixated on reflecting the boomerang, the other thing you could do, and this is a weird way of thinking about it, but if I am, let's say, anticipating boomerang and I just throw it out, you can actually get in between my reflex. Let's say if I'm doing this over and over again, you can get in between it with a boomerang throw. So what you would do is react or anticipate my reflector coming out and then throw your boomerang.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
versus trying to use it as a, I guess, tip of the spear type of style to get to hit me, you're more so saying this is going to be the counterplay to me being scared of it. Arsene can do the exact same thing with Aegon, where if I throw my reflector because I'm just scared, it's like, oh, I saw your reflector come out, immediate Aegon, and I can't stop him because my reflector's coming back, I'm putting it away, I'm in end lag, and I get hit. You know what, let's just keep going here, because we can't base everything off of one game. I think it's just more so, keep it in mind. If you are still experimenting, I fully encourage what you're doing as well to see, okay, this is where it doesn't work. So let me try it in other spots and see where it does work, right? This is how you figure out your character and also figure out placement for moves. So right here, I've wasted my jump, right? If you see my double jump come out, that's also a huge flag for you to get in there and do something as well. Obviously, I still have control of my character on landing, but you can checkmate me pretty hard with your up tilt, for example. Or if I do air dodge, then it's either a dash attack or forward tilt. Or if you're really quick, you might even get run up down smash as well, too.
Meant to be a dash back up tilt.
It's all good. Even right there, if you notice, when you threw the bomb over top of me, I just stayed where I was, right? There's really no point in me jumping up and reflecting it when it's already over my head. So even though you threw it off the ground and I didn't reflect it, it gave you time to move in closer to me while I waited for it to go back to where it was, or for it to return to you, I should say. Yeah, so I'm more like that, right? I'm at pretty high percent, but that was more so the right spot to use it. I think the other thing too, and this is just going to be something that you'll have to do for the rest of time, is just trying to work on using your character also as a boxing character when it's appropriate. And what I mean by that is just honestly focusing on your normals. Sometimes, like, I know Nair is fantastic, but sometimes even just throwing out that jab or throwing out an up tilt or even throwing out a down tilt, just not really as a poke because down tilt's kind of slow, but just as a way to cover the ground and make it a little bit more ambiguous as to what you might do, versus saying, okay, once he gets close, if he doesn't have a projectile, or sorry, doesn't have an item in his hand, or he's not about to throw something, he's probably gonna Nair. In a lot of cases, Nair can stuff out Falco pretty rough, but if you're doing like Rising Nair, for example, I can stuff that out like towards the end of the move. But if you are throwing out like a down tilt against my side B, or a down tilt against my dash grab, or like even up tilt, if I happen to like jump in with like a late nair like this, right? Forward tilt against that too. It's a little on the slow side, of course, still. But I guess just getting more moves into the mix so that I'm getting a little bit more scared. So you have more chances to get grabs, or more chances to stagger on my shield, or hit me with like jab on shield, and then let's see if I happen to drop shield, or you go for jab with like good spacing so I can try and like hit you with like a fair, you can dash away and get a forward tilt, right? Just, it's a little bit more grounded, and this is gonna, it's hard to just say it without really showing it, but I think you understand.
Yeah,
So
there are like some matchups that I've worked on game plans for now, where I write that down explicitly.
okay,
Like, it works really well versus like DK and Bowser, so long as I watch out for certain things.
okay.
Yeah, so it's good advice, and so you're saying for Falco, that's probably also a good idea to like,
Yeah,
at least
because
put it out there as an option that I'm gonna go for.
yeah, because like let's say if we are dashing back and forth, if I jump in with a fair and you down tilt, then yes, I will beat that, right? But if you go for forward tilt or up tilt, like here's the thing too, if I just jump in like this, I don't really know if I'm going to get a ton off of that compared to running up and going for a down tilt of my own, or going for a forward tilt, or not forward tilt, an up tilt, or for a side B. If I'm trying to get combos, right, then if I go for any of that stuff, provided that your timing is good, you will stuff out everything I have, right? It's disjointed versus nothing. And this is, even if I do it like that, that's on the ground. If I do it like this, that's technically on the ground. Like that would get hit by, or not that, but that would get hit by a down tilt as well. So you do have moves that if you were to dash back and just throw them out, right? Or like dash back and turn around with them, then you can stuff me out. I guess Another thing to preface as far as saying a boxing character, I'm not expecting you to go in and try and make something happen with your normals. More so using your spacing or using your movement. And if I overextend, you turn around with that move, or you jump back and you come down with like either an air into like a down tilt, or like land empty into a down tilt. So if I feel like it's safe to approach you, then you have a hitbox in front of me.